Hello, my name is Ezema, and today I'll be presenting a short PowerPoint on our study done in spring of 2021. We studied social interaction and social preference in DAT++ and DAT plus minus mice. To begin with, social interaction and preference are fundamental behavioral characteristics that are observed in mammals. They indicate motivation that's directed towards a social stimuli, such as other people, and social play, which influences the development of communication, cognitive, and emotional functions. The goal of our study was to observe social interaction and preference in DAT++ and DAT plus minus mice during early adolescence, which in mice is 28 to 35-day old. The dopamine plus mice have two copies of the dopamine active transporter gene and are often called wild type mice or classified as neurotypicals. The dopamine plus minus mice have just one copy of the dopamine active transporter gene and are classified as autistic mice. So we studied mice for 10 minutes in both social play and social interaction tests. Mice, we collected mice brain samples 60 minutes after the interaction test as a marker for cellular activity, which we classified that under CFOS that was admitted. For the results, we saw that um, dopamine active transporter genotype has different effects in both male and female mice and their behavior. We also recorded USBs during these tests, so USB was different between male and female mice, with females emitting more USBs than male mice. For the preference test, we noticed that the dopamine plus mice, female dopamine plus mice, and male dopamine plus minus mice have no preference between either the subject mice or the object, but the female dopamine plus minus mice spent more time with the subject mouse rather than the object. We then tested the mice for preference for either a familiar mouse or a stranger mouse, and test indicates that dopamine plus minus mice have more preference for the um, stranger mouse rather than the familiar mouse. In conclusion, the changes in dopamine active transporter genotype or DAT genotype actually affect social behavior and social communication, which warrants for further study, especially with different circumstances and the social play test. We also noticed that isolated mouse have a preference for the novel caged mouse rather than the object. And that would conclude this study. The diagrams also shows the conclusion and the discussion. I think it'll be important that we study the social play test in different circumstances. We haven't gone over the issue of dominance in these mice, and that's also likely to be affected by the changes in dopamine active transporter expression. I believe that we achieved the goal for the study, which was to study or observe social behavior and preference in dopamine knockout mice. With that being said, I would like to thank the Office of Undergraduate Research for funding this study and giving me a chance to experience working on a project with Dr. Frank Hall, who I'd also like to thank and share my gratitude for allowing me to actually be a part of this study. Thank you.